all night. Hello. Okay, well, we're just only starting. So, big assalamualaikum and hello to anybody who's watching us already right now. We're going to give about 5 minutes before we go into things. In the meantime, if you guys want to, you guys can go ahead and make yourself a cup of coffee, make yourself some tea or a cold beverage, get yourself some headphones to like chill and enjoy the moment. Because today's episode is pretty special. We have guests all the way from Brunei. Woohoo! So I'm going to wait it out and hopefully get more people to join in the live.
Yeah.
Let's give it about 5 minutes before we get going. But if you have already joined us right now, drop us a hello in the comments to say hello, say hi, say what's up. If you know Maria or Oggi, give them a hello. So you know which side you're coming from.
For research.
Okay, I'm going to switch out and use my hotspot so that because we're having some internet issues, unfortunately. If I get disconnected, Faiz is still around, my Mr. Technical Officer. And I'm going to switch over to my hotspot. Be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Disconnect.
No, did disconnect.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm back.
Changing now.
Hello. Okay, I'm back. Connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging it into a router. Okay. Is it yours that's unstable? What's wrong?
No, this stupid plug is not
Uh-huh.
even working.
But mine turned on. You can disconnect my computer if you want.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Sorry, we've got some technical difficulties that we're solving over here. I'm seeing like we've got some viewers that have already joined us. Say hello. Give us a hi, hello.
Hello.
Drop a hello in the comments. Apa khabar? Selamat datang. If you're a fellow army gang, let us know. Let us know what you think about the new song. Oh my God. Because it's awesome. Okay, well, we're going to just give it a few more minutes. In the meantime, I'm just going to put on a little music so that, it's not too quiet.
We can sing for you.
Let's hope this is nice and audible. Okay. Sounds a bit funny. Oh, by the way, everybody, in case you've noticed, we've got some new equipment. I've got some fancy new equipment here. Waalaikumsalam. Hello, Adam. Adam, you may recognize Maria by name. Maria is, you gave her a reading. Thank you for joining us, Adam. So yeah, finally you get to ask Maria the questions instead of just Maria asking you the questions.
Please go easy on me.
Adam knows too much.
You didn't go easy on people.
Well, in case those of you who have already joined us is wondering, yes, Maria and her husband Oggi are a production duo. They are a production team. Oh no, I don't. They own a production house, I believe. Is that what you guys call it there? Would you call it a production house?
Yay! Bulala.
Boleh
Yeah.
lah.
Okay, we're 5 minutes in. Let's start it up and get the ball rolling. And I'm sure more people, inshallah, will be joining us. So once again, assalamualaikum and good evening. Welcome to What I Actually Do, my humble chat show on careers based purely off a meme. As always, I am your host, Fatiha. And let's welcome today's guests, Maria and Oggy, our production duo all the way from Brunei. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, what I actually do is a pet project of mine, just to get a closer look at what people actually do for a living. Mostly because I always get stuck in the embarrassing small talk of, oh, you're a engineer or you're a scientist. That's pretty cool. I have no idea what that is, but great. Or maybe sometimes some people just want to know a little bit more about these jobs, or in case anybody is also wondering or considering doing it too. I think if we have hopefully some younger viewers yang macam, I think cool juga kalau I go into production. It must be pretty glamorous, or maybe it's really cool.
Handphone.
Envoy here. Oh, hello, Hasrul Aizan. Hello, welcome to the show. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, sometimes I think people might get a misconception about production. I know I do a little bit of copywriting and script writing, so I've got a little idea about it, but I think most people might not know about it. So um I'd like to thank our viewers for joining us this evening. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so, or drop a like in the video. If you prefer to listen to the replay, it will also be available for free on Spotify. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy your beverage of your choice. By the way, we welcome and encourage you to drop your questions in the chat box below. Not just say hi, but give us some questions, and we will do our best to address them as we go along. So, firstly, let's get the ball rolling. Please, Maria and Augie, take it away and introduce yourselves.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Hello, my name is Oggi.
And I'm Maria, and we both run Oddbox Pictures at Brunei. So we do, well, production is one of the things that we do, but we do we just make creative content in general. Yeah. Oggi handles. Yeah. Oggi handles the more of the executing part, and I handle more of the planning part of things.
You want to explain a little bit more about, what would be the difference between production and creative content? I mean, anything can be considered creative. What would be the definition of creative content? How do you define that?
I think
it's too general, isn't
yeah, it is quite general. I guess well, they're quite well. Yeah, creative content is quite broad, but I think in terms of what we do, we kind of break it down to just like mostly design. So like we do print and digital design, and we also do like filming related stuff, which like TVCs, documentaries, every now and then like some variety show type of things.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty cool.
I think Brunei is so small that we kind of do a little bit of everything.
I think.
Okay, well, I love your campaign you did for LMN. Wow.
Thank
Where do you get the credit on there?
I'll list my name.
Thank you so much. Envoy is actually a filmmaker here in Brunei.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
Okay.
So to those who are tuning in, you can check him out on IG. It's Envoy Baker. Let me just share that.
Okay, well, I guess I'm sorry. So, I actually, one of the reasons that I think it's so interesting about both of you as a duo is because both of you have very unique backgrounds, and you're both from two very different countries while working in Brunei. So, can you also tell us a little bit about that?
Oh,
Okay.
maybe that will mix it up with our love story.
Yes.
No. Okay. Yeah. So my background was actually not in production at first. I studied law. I studied graphic design, and I ended up working for a film company doing like a lot of design collaterals for them, and like was handling marketing for like all the filming projects for that particular company. And then Ogi was handling. Well, he was a
film.
freelance
Yeah,
filmmaker lah
film
in Indonesia.
in Indonesia.
Maybe.
So my background is purely in filmmaker. I'm studying filmmaker juga, and then yeah, my career is in film.
Film.
And yeah, film.
So Oggy, memang your
So-
background is towards film lah, and Maria kind
Yeah.
of entered this filmmaking or production and creative content through the project that
Yes.
you guys have worked on. But I mean, Oggy, you are from Indonesia, and Maria, you're not
Yes.
actually from Brunei, right?
No, I'm not. I'm from the Philippines, but I was born and raised in Brunei.
Ah, okay. So that means that technically Maria, you speak 3 languages then.
I do, yes. Tagalog, well, technically 4, because Bahasa Brunei and Bahasa are completely different.
That is true. That is true.
So yeah.
We've got a
technically
question.
4.
Where is Arish? Oh, sorry. Where is Arish?
That's my brother-in-law, who is also a filmmaker, by the
Yes.
way.
Wow, we've got a lot of filmmakers on
It
tonight.
runs in the fam. Yeah, Arish is sleeping.
So many filmmakers tonight. Ooh. Okay, well, if I apologize if the quality of my video is not up to par, or
Oh,
the audio,
okay.
you know, up to standard. So, without further ado, I think we're gonna go into our. By the way, we've got a little side, a DM from the side that says, "Maria, you have a very Billie Eilish voice.
A big what?
A very Billie Eilish voice."
Wow,
Whoa.
thank you.
Duh.
Usually like
Little
this.
hair flip. Little hair flip. Oh, all right. Actually, before we go into our first segment, apa ni, Augie, how did you get into like filmmaking? Sebab like, was it something memang you enjoy, something yang I mean, from study, how do you masuk the industry?
Okay, so masuk industri kah
Ya,
atau
macam mana mau masuk industri?
benar-benar beginning?
Like kalau you belajar, kalau you baru-baru beginning, maybe if you do your own filmnya gitu, you can make your own
Oh,
film.
I see.
But how do you go into the industry as somebody who maybe
Okay,
might be starting up?
maybe I'm maybe my journey sebenarnya general saja, like aku memang study di film and then aku graduate and then go to the industry standard
Oh.
gitu. Yeah.
But is it hard
So, yeah,
mau
waktu
masuk industry?
Actually yes, because not of our graduate itu nggak ke film. Jadi most of them malah ke ini television gitu. But the same thing
Does
lah,
it,
like audio visual things.
so kira masih di audiovisual tapi mungkin not ke film, mungkin like you said,
Yes.
kepada television, mungkin
Yeah.
advertising gitu ya.
Yeah.
And
think
requirements-nya
like-
lainan nggak? Is it different in terms of requirements?
Kalau requirement from like for film,
Kalau macam if you want to go into film atau you want to go into television, do you have to know very different things?
I think for television yes, because you have to understand about journalistic ethic and then about broadcasting, like apa namanya? Yeah, broadcasting. Yeah, but for film it's just basic filmmaking, like audiovisual
Oh.
things. Gitu.
You get to be,
But
I guess,
both of it
more creative
can
kan?
have their own difficulty lah.
Okay.
Gitu.
So Kitu, let's go into our first segment, which is what your friends and family think you do.
No, okay.
So,
That's so
I think
cute.
for Augie mungkin mudah because your brother is also a filmmaker. So, kalau family kan generally, how would they describe your job to people when they introduce and say, "Oh, this is Maria and Oggy." What do they do? How do people, young friends, summer family normally, what do they say when they introduce you and what you do?
I think for my close family, I think they already understand about audiovisual thing lah, like filmmaking atau television things gitu. Tapi outside of that, yeah, we have to explain like our job itu apa aja gitu, like what we do in our job gitu.
Kalau macam usually
Yeah, like
apa description, like what's the go-to description for you Maria and Oggy? Kalau macam ini Maria and Oggy mereka bikin film gitu, or is it like, oh, they do production, or they have a production company, you know, what that's normally the
oh yeah,
go-to phrase.
sometimes yeah.
So
Sometimes.
I think with me, it's usually just, oh, this is my daughter. She's very creative.
Just like that.
Just like that. Like
It's very
so,
creative.
like yeah, it's just she's very creative. Then it just kind of she kind of makes me continue the sentence and tell them how creative I am. So I think yeah, it's still very. I don't think they quite understand what exactly it is that I do, but I guess it's probably because we handle so many different types of creative content that they're like, yeah, I don't know which box to put you in, kind of thing.
So it's just she's very creative. You tell them what
Yeah.
creative
Yeah,
is.
you tell them what you do. Yeah.
I don't explain it. I let you do that thing.
Yeah.
So
You do the talking. I don't understand this. Don't make me.
what about like older family members? Is it also the same where it's like where they ask you, oh, not what do you do now for work? And you know, do you have to still explain, oh, I don't work in a 9 to 5 office, or you know, I'm producing something right now, or what's do you get that as well with them?
Yeah, actually, because I think, especially with our older relatives, they don't quite understand our working hours, like just our working conditions in general. So, like, you know, there would be times like we leave the house at like 11, and or like we come home at like 2 in the morning, and the only thing they ask is like, oh. You've been very busy overtime, but no, it's not overtime. Like it's just how our hours are.
Call
So
times at
yeah,
6.
like
Wow.
yeah, that, wow, you're working very early today, or like, oh, you came home very late today. But they
Or sometimes maybe like, oh, you're not working.
yeah, like, oh, you're not working today. Why are you still at home?
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, you're not working.
Especially for me lah, waktu aku masih freelancing, I get a lot of that. Oh, you're not working.
You're not
You
working.
just stay at home.
Yeah.
But okay, what is the
Yeah.
what would you say is the maybe craziest atau funniest description yang you've heard about your job?
Not exactly
Funny sih.
funny or crazy, but like, okay, so we've worked on quite a few big projects. But sebenarnya, you know, like with most productions, they're all kind of, we all play like kind of small parts only. But then like whenever like they see the poster or whatever, they
What's your name?
oh, Maria buat nih. Like as if like they created the full thing, you know. But it happened all the time. Like I mean, I it's sweet. It's very sweet. I guess they're just very proud. But yeah, they tend to kind of blow out of proportion what we actually do.
Oh, he said hello to Hanis Taib. Hello, Hanis. Thank you for
Hello.
joining us tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ustaz Hanif.
But yeah, I completely understand because my siblings are in advertising, and very often we also get like my brother will say, oh, by the way, I'm working on so and so brand as my client, and it will be, oh, that's my brother's billboard. And I'm like,
Yeah.
he doesn't own the billboard. Like that's the
Yeah,
one he
so
did. No.
exactly.
So you guys get a lot of credit. I mean, it's nice that there's a lot of pride macam
Support.
wow, they did this movie or they did this thing, tapi you're a part of a team that does that, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's sweet lah. I think it's sweet, but it is quite amusing.
Yes.
Like wow, so Brunei being a small place, you must have done a lot of projects. Like a lot of it is this is
Exactly.
Mariah's
Yeah.
OGGI punya kerja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost as if like we're in charge of everything that comes out of Brunei, which is intimidating. It's very intimidating.
So it sounds like wow, is there nobody else doing this stuff in Brunei? It can become like that, I suppose.
Yeah.
So next question. Do you promote any of your services to friends and family? Do you actively promote, or maybe do they come to you and ask like, "Hey, can you do my social media?" Or do you go, "Hey, by the way, do you want help with your social media, or some help with some production?"
Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens quite a lot. So we've been fortunate that our immediate family is quite they understand how it works. So it's like you require our services, then we need to be compensated for these services. So they
Yeah, it's paid
understand. But
services
it's
lah.
yeah, it's the aunties and the uncles and the random
Yeah.
cousins who are like,
Suddenly kayak
yeah, like, hey, I have business now. Can you make something for me? I belanja you. Like no.
no.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
So that yeah,
Yeah.
it happens a lot. But I think with a lot of, I mean, even with your previous guests who were in the creative or entertainment industry, I think we all kind of went through the same thing of like expecting like others expecting of us to do free work for them. But
Yes.
yeah.
But I'm wondering in terms of I mean, because I know a lot of what you do in terms of the filming side. So here in Malaysia, obviously with weddings, you're always gonna have to have a wedding video. That's like a must do. So do you often get those as well, where it's hey,
Yeah,
can you
sometimes
guys do
yeah.
my wedding
Yeah,
video?
benar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. All the time.
All the time sih sebenarnya.
Yeah. As I think, yeah, especially in Brunei, because it is such a small it's such a young and a really small creative like community in Brunei. So a lot of people who do weddings here actually do macam like TVCs and stuff as
Yes.
well.
Oh wow,
Because
okay.
I guess because the jobs are very scarce, so it's like we'll take what we can. But with us, and I know there's quite a few other filmmakers here as well who do kind of macam stand their ground and are like, no, we only do commercial work, we don't do video. But because of these other people who are doing that, they kind of put us in the same circle.
But
Okay, okay,
actually
okay,
not.
okay.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily only limit yourself to I will only do say commercial, I will only do film, that kind of thing. Would you be willing to do stuff that's outside of commercial?
Depends sih.
Yeah.
Kalau maybe not for regular job, maybe yes, like friends, maybe close friend, they asked me to take a photo of his wedding. But okay, I will take it like oh, you want me to take your photos with my style, with my style. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
okay.
yes, I understand.
But
Okay.
not like
Not
regular
style that they
style of
want.
wedding.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But Augie does have beautiful photography. I've seen some of his works. I think
Thank
it's
you.
one of the perks. I would say one of the perks of because I know both of you have a son, Arish. I think one of the perks of having such creative parents is I always see such beautiful photos or even videos of your son, and I'm always like, dude, like it's kind of like like average not so creative parent myself, I macam like all the photos of my kid are like wow, whereas macam yours are so beautifully put together, like it looks as though it's a production piece done of your kid, like oh wow, it's so curated.
But even with that, I think like the downside is we're both creative. So he has his vision of of how he wants
Yeah.
it, and I have my way of how we want it. That's why in the end, like we have an Instagram page for Irish, right? We don't even update it anymore because how he wants it and how I want it is
It's
completely
different.
different. So like takkan we have two completely different Instagram accounts. So we're like like he's going through like a black and white film phase, which I'm not into. So I'm like, no, take photos in color, but he won't.
Grayscale is for dead people.
Grayscale. Faiz is not grayscale is for dead people.
Exactly.
You see.
Life. My son is still like 2. He doesn't need the drama.
But kan, like sometimes you need exercise of your visual gitu kan. And sometimes aku take aku make Aris as my object gitu.
Humble lang.
Iya sih.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I'm
yeah,
not saying they're bad photos.
no, they are. I know. I think there are brilliant photos, and I think it's a unique take. And I would actually agree on. I have that as well with Faiz, where Faiz loves very vibrant images. He likes it looking bright
Oh.
and colorful. But I like very I would say muted colors. So
Oh, I see.
I
Kebalik
love
gitu.
that slightly less colorful. So I love that sepia tone, black and white. I love that.
Oh, I
So for me, I
see.
suka. But Faiz is like, no, it needs to be colorful, bright. Like, where's the color? So even when he does like any sort of artwork, I'm like, it's too bright. Can you make it less colorful? Well, I completely understand. So how does you being in the creative industry does it affect I think the uniqueness about both of you being creatives, and you mentioned a little bit about that, about having a difference in opinion. How does that affect your relationship either with each other or with other family members?
Jadinya apa ya? Love hate sih.
Yeah, it's very.
It's like okay, ini mungkin too private, but I think jadi gini. Most of our arguments is about creative things, not about our relationship.
Oh, so it's
Our
I think
relationship
this
is
should look
fine.
like this.
Yeah. Tapi
Yeah.
most of our arguments itu about creative things.
Yeah, like we get into very heated arguments about storyboards, schedules.
Because he's my boss, right? So what I make,
Ooh,
I have to
she's my
report.
boss.
Yes, he's my boss in office. Ya kan? So whatever I make, I have to report to her. And then lah, boss as a boss.
I
Sometimes
don't like this. Maybe look it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Padahal aku sudah
Yeah.
like put my effort.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I understand that because me and Faiz juga we do work together, and Faiz does say I'm juga a very difficult person to work with. Um, he does this thing where he says, "Okay, fine lah, you be like creative director lah," because I will say things like, let's say he designs something and I do something as apa, I'm like, can you move it just a little bit? Like, oh, just sikit saja, move it sikit saja.
She's the hovering type.
Oh
The
yeah,
hover
yeah.
over the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like that.
Two steps to the left, one step down.
5% bigger.
5%
Oh my God.
bigger. Okay. I think one step up and two steps to the left. Right. So it looks back to what it was.
Hello. Or no. But I think like with me and Oggi's like arguments, a lot of it's not okay because he sometimes takes it personally because he sees it as it's coming
Of course lah.
Sabar.
It's my work.
Like he thinks it's my opinion, like my personal opinion. But the thing is, right, because I've been in the Brunei industry for longer than he has, so I feel like I have a better understanding of what the public wants. Whereas with Oggi, he's like Oggi would be more like we need to do how we do it in Indonesia, or how we do it like on a global scale. Like that's what he wants to bring
It's a
to the
creative
table.
race.
But
But
We
it's
need to
I'm the one
create
who
a
kind of
revolution.
yeah. I mean, I love about him. I do love that about him. But sometimes, you gotta take it a step down, especially when budgets are concerned
yes, I
and
understand.
time is of concern as well.
Okay, but what about okay, since you guys are creatives, how about how you see things that's maybe done by family? Like for instance, if you have somebody take a photo like of you, like okay, it's a family photo, and somebody else takes the photo, are you gonna like um maybe do it a bit differently? Or I don't quite like how that turned out.
Maybe at first, okay. Maybe at
At
first,
first, we were
yes,
quite
yes,
tolerant of it.
yes.
We were like, it's okay. They're trying their best. It's
Mm.
okay. Um,
But
but after a while, like after a few months, Oggy became the official photographer of the family.
yeah.
So that says a lot.
Mm. Oh,
So
tomorrow ada
you're
function
the
ya?
free photographer.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not free because he was asked of it. It was because dia sendiri hindi suka the
Oh,
standard
because
of
he
the
wants
photo.
to make sure
Iya
that the
sih.
standard is
Gatal, gatal.
upheld.
Tangannya
Yeah.
gatal.
Tangannya gatal.
Tangannya gatal. SOP.
SOP gitu. Ya, sometimes kan kamu pikir it's common sense. Why you not see the line kah or gimana gitu.
Rule of third. It's common sense.
It's common sense.
It's common sense. It's not trust me, it's not that common.
Oh, okay.
But I used to wonder macam kalau we are I mean obviously Irish is still very small. He's only started sort of kindergarten, but once he starts going into doing art projects, I would imagine Maria punya tangan akan makin gatal.
Udah start ya.
Because we have that a lot with Faris as creative parents, where he's doing his arts and crafts, and then we end up kind of doing it for him. It's like
Yes, it
the
happened.
blow paint, and we're like, blow it this direction, do it this, it's gonna look nicer like this. And Faris is like, why don't you guys do it? No, I'll just
I think
Apa?
I find it very hard to like separate mom Maria and like boss Maria. So I tend to boss Irish around as well
Yeah.
in terms of like, that's not how you color things. This is how you do it. That color does not match with
creative
this color.
director Maria.
It's such a bad habit. Like I really need to be more forgiving of him, but no. This is
You'd
how you do
probably
things.
enjoy spending time with Faris then, because Faris does have where he gets frustrated with us sometimes when we do coloring, because I'm the sort of it's okay, just take purple, just take blue, and Faris will go, no, that's not purple, that's violet. And I go, just take the blue, and he goes, I want dark blue. I'm like, this is dark blue. He goes, no, that's too dark a blue. Go for a lighter, like, and I'm like, oh my god,
Oh my god. Oh my
he's-
god.
Oh no.
Oh my
so
Okay.
I don't want
You
him
know
to
how
learn more
proud
color.
I am?
god.
I'm so proud because Irish says indigo. He says
Faris
violet,
does that. He
indigo,
says
and
he's
purple.
violet, indigo. Yes.
Yeah,
And I don't know how to
I
tell the
love
difference.
it.
To me, they're all purple. And Faris go, this is violet, this is indigo, this is purple. I'm like, they're all
Yeah, for
purple.
me also sih.
It's so amazing. Like I'm so happy that he knows the difference.
I wish they could explain it to us though, and actually say this is violet. And I'm like, purple. This is indigo. That's purple. This is also purple. All purple. But hey, if you're a parent or if you have a younger sibling, or if you know the difference between violet, indigo, and purple, you can let us know in the comments below, because I have no idea. Does that make me a terrible parent? But what about your work schedule? How does that affect you as a parent, or as family? Because I know production, or going into the creative field, your work schedule can be very hectic, can be quite crazy actually. So how does
Yeah.
that affect family? Because both of you are working and it's not one of you.
Mm.
How do you juggle that?
I think well, right now we're on partial lockdown, so it's a little bit more manageable because we're both at home. But when when it was normal, there were actually a lot of times I had to bring like we had to bring our son on set.
Mm.
And like um, when he was much younger, I would leave him with my mom, but then I would have to like I mean Brunei is very small as you
Yeah.
know, so I would actually have to leave this set every few hours to just go home and tend to Arish for
And
a while and
feed,
then like come
yeah.
back after. Yeah. So it was like I mean he's only 2, so I don't think we fully like adjusted to it yet. But you know, it is quite a hassle lah. Like
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
Tapi so far masih manageable
Yeah.
kan? Yeah.
Still manage.
Dia suka kah being on set? Does he love like the set
Yes.
He
environment?
loves
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah, he does. Because he's such a curious baby. So like apa we whenever like the guys are setting up lighting, he would actually like stand there juga and like tolong angkat by just like holding the poles. Like my mom does not agree to having him on set because he's such he's still so young, but I mean we're quite safe, so we just let him be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as long
Introducing.
as you're not doing anything crazy in terms of production, I think given that your creative field isn't too insane or isn't too you're not producing any productions where there's swearing or where there's like
No,
explosions
no.
and the like. So
In
it
Brunei,
actually
no swear.
yeah, in Brunei nada. So I think boleh lah tu.
In
Selamat,
Malaysia,
selamat.
Philippines, Indonesia, yes.
Mungkin ada,
So
yes.
far,
I mean, depending on the faction kan.
Hmm.
so
But di
yeah.
Brunei, I imagine it's quite clean. It's quite okay. So okay lah to have him
Yeah.
on set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he appeared in anything yet? No, I mean, actually, do you have any family members that's like, hey, can I like be in your film? Can I be in your thing? Can I be an extra?
Yes, my mom.
Oh,
My mom. All the time eh. Serius. Oh, mama bisa bisa ini loh, bisa acting kayak di sinetron loh. Serius.
that is too
Bisa
cute.
jadi judge.
Hello,
Serius,
Hana.
it's all the time. Ask my
So
brother.
your mom mau jadi pelakon sinetron ya?
Yeah.
I will get on the Sinetron questions later because I do have a lot of
Oh, okay.
questions about the, the industry difference. But let's move into our next segment, which is what society thinks you do. So I think just now we talked about how your family understands. I think given your family pun ada experience with you guys in the creative field kan. But what would you say is generally the understanding of society of what you do? Mungkin di Indonesia it's different because film is big in Indonesia. So kefahamannya
Yeah.
macam very easy kan. Tapi kalau di Brunei mungkin
Hmm.
as you said it's a very small country and jobs are quite scarce. So what would be the people punya impression society wise of what you guys punya kerja is?
I think in Brunei, like it's still so young. So whenever someone is in the creative field, it's either one, wow, you have so much money, you can just like do whatever you want. You don't have to like have a 9 to 5 job and whatever. Or it's like, wow, you really don't care about your future, don't you? So it's
Yeah.
either one or the other. It's both not the best at all.
So it's either you're rich and like, it doesn't matter. Like you don't even really need a job, or wow, there
Yeah.
goes your future.
You're throwing your life away.
Then what about
Tapi in Brunei,
in your home
no.
countries? Kalau di Indonesia atau in the Philippines, how is it very different?
Yeah, I think because both in Philippines and Indonesia, it's like already very mature kan. So if you
Yeah.
have like, if you're in the
If I
industry,
say shooting, they understand you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like if you say that you are a film director, you are respected and not really looked down upon.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting. I mean, it's like if you were back in Indonesia, um, doing what you do in the creative field is very respected. And unfortunately, given that it's a smaller country where you are, it's like, oh, there goes your future
Yeah.
in a sense, lah. But given that
Hmm.
there's that misconception, where do you think it comes from? Kalau di Brunei.
Kalau di Brunei kayaknya mungkin dari ini culture-nya sih sebenarnya.
Yeah. I think
Because di
here
sini kan masih the real job is a government job.
you work for the government or you
Yeah.
have a corporate job.
Ah.
Basically office, like, having an office
Kalau
job
kerja
is
di
the
office lah, if you have
ideal.
an office job, then that
Hmm.
means you've got a job.
Yes.
If you make a film, if you make a
Yeah.
advertisement, itu hobi.
Yes. Filmmaking or
Oh.
anything creative is
Yeah.
considered a hobby.
But yet, these
Yeah.
these industries, these corporate industries need the creative in order to make their ads, in order to produce
Yes.
things. So they do need you, but they see it as like, meh, it's not that important. But it is actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people don't
Yeah.
realize how important the creative industry sebenarnya is,
Yeah.
and how much it actually plays a big role in everything that we do or we see. Tapi macam because it's not necessarily there, or the credit isn't necessarily di sana. I think people kind of
Yeah.
they don't realize, oh, actually, like you see all these commercials and you don't realize there's a whole team behind it, and it's not like magically dibikin macam gitu saja kan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because also like macam the education
Hmm.
pasal the creative industry here is still very,
Small.
it's still
Yeah.
very basic,
Yeah.
and people kind of just see anything creative like, wow, pretty pictures, oh,
Yeah.
nice colors, and it's just at that. Like they don't see all of the work that goes into the selection of how things are the way they are once it's presented to you already.
So does that mean like even the from as you said earlier that you have this background in in living in Brunei for so long, so you kind of understand the audience, not the audience, but maybe the client punya creative preference. So would you say that also plays a role in terms of the output? Like you said, Oggi wants to do like, let's do something maybe a lot more out there and mungkin non-conventional di Brunei, and it's maybe not even seen as very creative even to that extent.
Yeah.
Tapi
Yes.
would you say that it's because of that you have to kind of tone down the creativity?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, I'm not against like going, like introducing newer things, but with how Brunei is and how, I wouldn't say close they are, but like they're kind of very slow accepting to change. So when we introduce newer creative, like strategies or like, when we
New
figure out like
looks
the
gitu kan
new
susah.
look or whatever, we kind of really have to take baby steps to make sure that we don't step on people or like offend people, because
Or
here
don't
macam
shock
everything
people with
is,
it like, whoa, that's a bit too.
yeah, because I think here everything is still about like maintaining this image of being like proper and very prim and proper lah. So if you kind of go against that, then it's it's either you're digging your own grave or like, bah, sana balik your own country kind of thing.
Oh, aku remember. Aku pernah offer bikin series kalau nggak salah. Ya kan, aku pernah offering bikin series because I saw in Indonesia, Filipina, and Malaysia itu, and Singapore sebenarnya, mereka baru changing the advertising itu jadi story base.
Yes,
Ya
yes,
kan?
that's right.
Trendingnya kan masih kayak gitu kan, and then aku try to introduce that kind of treatment to the client. Kenapa kamu bikin series aja gitu, jadi nggak cuma advert yang cuma 30 second atau apa gitu kan. Aku itu introduce the storyline base gitu, dan mereka like, what, why, udah 30 second aja, okay. And then 3 years
Fast
after,
forward, yeah, 3 years
3 years
later,
later,
they
mereka langsung
requested for that
share langsung
from
what?
us.
Oh, 3
So
years
we're like,
later.
yeah,
3 years later gitu. Mereka baru sadar itu
yeah.
gitu.
Nah,
Nah,
dia
di
punya
situ
SpongeBob,
seperti itu sih.
SpongeBob senarionya gitu ya. 3 years later.
Nah,
Hey!
3 years later mereka baru sadar.
Hmm.
Oh, ternyata apa namanya storyline based language itu more touching atau apa gitu.
It
Dan
actually
ya,
happens
it
quite a lot with
works, it
our
works.
projects. Yeah, so like
But
macam we actually have like a database of like concepts that were not approved from like
yes.
years ago that we still present to, and you
Because
know
now suddenly they're like,
what
hey, you know what? I want this idea. And then you're like,
yeah,
let me just.
yeah, yeah.
Buka 2 years ago ya kan
Mm.
database.
But
Wah.
I think even here ada juga that sort of case that sometimes an idea mungkin at that time they were not into it, and sometimes we keep those ideas juga. Ataupun one of the things I learned is if this client doesn't like it, another one might. So I normally just hang on to
Yeah.
the idea, and then kalau
Yes.
another one will be like, hey, actually, you know what? I'm looking for something like this, and then you just tweak these ideas to work for those
Yeah.
clients, and that's how it works out. So I mean, obviously sekarang ni is lockdown in Brunei. We've gone through that here in Malaysia, and that really affected creative industry, especially production, like very badly because nothing we cannot do filming on setnya gada, and then a lot of it became into animation because animation, you know, you can just do it on in the studio saja. But voiceover pun obviously kalau mau ada voiceover you have to have the right equipment, you have to have all that. So so what has that been like since, I don't know, in Brunei? Is this second lockdown?
Yeah,
This is
second
second
one.
already.
And is
Yes,
it lagi
efektif
major
juga,
daripada the
efektif.
first one?
Yeah, this one it's
Yes.
a lot worse compared to the first one, but you know, surprisingly, like a lot of, because the thing is, even way before the lockdown, like Outbox kind of realized that because Brunei is so small and there's already so many filmmakers in Brunei, we actually expanded to animation like way before
Okay.
all of this was happening. So by the time you know, COVID happened, we already had like a strong animation team, and during the first lockdown, a lot of our projects, like, you know, the ones that were bringing in the money, were actually animation based.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think
This time
animation is
around,
going to be it's going to eventually evolve into full blown like productions like how it is here?
I mean, we're hoping for that, but I think right now everyone is still at a state of like being very scared to move around. It's a bit hard luck to introduce filmmaking right now. But there are like quite a lot of people who are being very like creative about it. Like there are those who like do
Oh, my
macam
dad's here
one
too.
room
Hi, Dad.
challenge. Oh, hello, uncle. People now are being very creative about it lah. So like I think everyone has this understanding that, oh, okay, the quality might not be great because, you know, we're quite limited in terms of like what camera to use or like how much lighting can be used. So recently, like one of the things that we kind of helped work on was this one TVC where everything was shot pakai Zoom saja.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think yeah, it wasn't really, you know, the best quality, but you know, it kind of made full use of like how the situation is now.
Yes. Understandable.
I think that sort of limitation does push you to kind of be more creative, and I suppose the plus point of Brunei only now kind of experiencing a more severe lockdown as opposed to the first one is you get to kind of learn from what industries outside have done. Macam kalau di sini we've had obviously a lot of our usual perayaan ads have gone completely animated. And we've seen a few video productions that, like what you said lah, it's done by Zoom, so a lot of it is directed from remotely. um I think one of the projects my brother also worked on was where they send all the equipment to the person's house, and then they zoom and like,
Ah.
okay, you put the camera there, you put the
Hmm.
lighting there, and they literally direct from the home. So
Oh,
I thought that was really interesting. I was like, wow, that must have been insane. But I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
interesting.
you
yeah.
have to do what you can to adapt to
Yeah.
these
Hmm.
situations. But I do hope things get better there. I hope
Yep.
eventually, you guys will be able to get outdoors and do more
Hmm.
stuff. Um, and I guess hopefully also it brings forward maybe a new evolution of the creative industry in Brunei, because um, I think I may not say the plus side, but the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to benda-benda macam these sort of adversities is it breeds more creativity. You have to push your boundaries because of your
Yes.
limitation. You now have to think, how do I now really think out of the box? How do I change this? How do I survive this for kita punya industry lah, kan?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
For sure.
kemungkinan, I mean, hopefully give birth to new talents. I mean, mungkin before this, animators maybe not really seen, and now you get to see more animators dari Brunei. And I think
Yeah.
that's something that I hope we get to look forward to seeing as well.
Hmm.
And now now the question that I'm very curious to ask, given your different backgrounds, is how does it compare production where you are, or creative where you are, versus internationally? Obviously, macam tadi Oggy, you were saying apa, your mom selalu minta mau lakon dalam sinetron. Tapi mungkin how do you feel as a creative, kan you lihat sinetron yang dramanya very you know kayak like zoom in, zoom out, zoom
Zoom
in,
out.
zoom like
Slow mo.
yes. Is that something? Maybe does that work? Is it a funny thing? Is it something that memang works for audiences di Indonesia? And then, um, have you tried doing it juga di Brunei?
Kalau tried no. But
Ada
maybe
klien yang mau.
Oh, actually,
Huh?
they do kind of
the Baidu, which one?
the series.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not
there
like
were
sinetron.
no, but there were like very cheesy elements in that. Is
Yeah,
quite
inside-nya
cinematic.
cheesy, tapi look-nya I make
Yeah.
a proper.
Yeah. So like there's
Ah.
like this trending thing in like there's this one director that Ogi really likes in
Yeah.
Indonesia who takes very cinetron situations but packages it nicely. So macam it'll make it kind of makes
Basically,
you
it's like
feel
make a fun of
yeah, it's like a
sinetron,
parody of cinetron,
Nah,
but nice,
Okay.
but
but
nice,
commercial.
elegant
Hmm.
with elegant. Yeah,
Gitu. So
yeah. It's
you
trending now
tried
actually.
that lah.
That kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think because there's also something very nostalgic about cinetrons. Like, you know, I'm
Come on.
even what?
Kita semua grow up
Yeah,
with
we all grew
sinetron
up
loh.
watching sinetron. So like,
Jangan bohong, kamu juga pasti lihat sinetron dulu.
Yeah.
like,
I think I agree with the nostalgia of it, and that's what we
Yeah.
love about it. But what about working wise? Macam kalau kerja, would you say it's just as crazy production in, like, not necessarily the production styling itself, tapi macam the hours or what you have to do to produce something di Brunei versus mungkin di Indonesia, is it the same in terms of berapa penat, like you have to call time-nya at this time, and you have to make sure everything is set up, terus weather-nya and about all
I
that,
think it's
is
different.
it very similar?
it's very different.
Very very different because dari mulai scheduling aja different. Di Indonesia you have dedicated actor, you have dedicated crew. Tapi kalau di sini all the talents, all the crew itu juga punya day job.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Dan itu affecting everything.
Yeah. Like I think with every time we experience working with like foreign production houses, they always like they can't quite grasp it in their heads. Kenapa Brunei filming schedules are always very odd. Like it has to be after
On
5
weekend.
or on a weekend. So much
Ooh.
just putting it like in non-working hours already makes it seem like it's not a priority.
Yeah.
So macam like it yeah, like
Oh, there's one story.
silakan.
Ya kan, ada satu production house, they make a local advertising, ya iklan gitu kan, lokal iklan. Kliennya juga lokal, like Brunei company gitu, it's quite big juga, and they have to bring flying actor from Indonesia, like 50 talent from Indonesia.
Because they couldn't
find it di sana.
local talents that could commit di sini.
50
to commit to the hours.
50, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you have to
can you
fly
imagine,
in
like, how much
talents.
Yes.
Yeah. Fly them in,
gosh.
provide them accommodation, feed them, when you can just hire a local. But because there is no like talent pool that is dedicated to just acting or just being models or whatever, like it's very difficult lah. And even with a lot of our shoots, it does get quite frustrating because I feel like if there was a proper like proper agencies and proper like talents, not even talents, like even freelance makeup artists, technical crew apa, we could be more productive. But because we always have to ikut their schedule, it's quite frustrating lah. Like when we could probably make like more than 10 ads in a month, but because of how things are, we're limited to just maybe 3 to 4.
And I suppose clients, in that sense, they don't change either. For them, it's I need this by this time. I need this done by.
Yeah.
They have the same deadline, but you're limited to what you can produce because, yalah, I mean, like as you said, kalau you can only film on weekends, but you have, let's say, 3 commercials to make. You can't just go. I'll shoot this on Monday, Tuesday, this one Wednesday, Thursday, this on Friday, Saturday, and take a break on Sunday. It's like you have to cram them all on the weekend or shoot them after, as you said, after 5. And itu pun after 5, kalau hujan, kalau there's weather, you're gonna get all that sort of thing that affects you.
Padahal
Imagine,
industry, time is money, right?
Yes, absolutely. So how long usually would it take to complete a shoot, let's say, kalau di sana versus di Indonesia?
Kalau di Indonesia want to do this selesai dan itu anytime. Nah kalau di sini, kalau the full project ya, kalau the full project sini dari post sampai ending mungkin
it's like a month or 2.
A month or 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tapi sebenarnya,
I mean, yeah,
it
is.
The fastest
It's quite long,
yeah.
but I think because of how things are here, and like you go to production house A, you go to production house B, you still get like the same, like the same effect. And there, even companies and clients are more forgiving, in terms of like the delivery lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you said tadi, macam in terms of talent pool kan, obviously you're limited to people who either have a day job and the sort. And one of the things that we do face here in Malaysia, especially contohnya, in the voiceover talent pool, where contohnya voices for corporate videos. After some time, the client gets bored of this same voice and they're like, can we try a different voice? Tapi kalau you have a limited talent pool di sana, for voiceover mungkin you can still do it remotely. You can still go, okay, I'm going to hire a studio in Indonesia and like just get somebody from there who can sound Bruneian enough. Tapi kalau a talent yang in person, like visually, you're limited to this is the person who can act, who can do whatever you need to do.
Itu juga benar. Itu juga benar. Sometimes we just see same face in a
like
Bang A use this face, Bang B use the same face.
It happened, and
it happened.
It's really bad sebenarnya.
Padahal kalau di Indonesia
you get like, wah, this person ada banyak bank account ya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Padahal kalau di Indonesia itu haram. Ya kan, using the
Really?
same image. Ya haram. Maksudnya haram tuh janganlah kamu
Yalah,
using
tapi kalau
my
I mean
face
kalau
or
even like
apalagi
let's
kalau
say if
itu
it's you, walaupun posingnya lain nggak boleh ya?
nggak boleh. Kalau mungkin kalau main main talentnya itu nggak boleh.
Oh,
Apalagi kalau si
wow.
company-nya rival
Mm.
atau competing each other.
Oh, so like, well, I mean, I know kalau let's say it is ambassador, memang they won't use the same person lah. Like, for example, kalau it's a celebrity, memang they won't use yang like kapal api will not use the same person as Nescafe gitu ya.
Yeah.
Tapi so di Brunei mungkin like let's say talent itu popular pandai berlakon. So in bank ad ia jadi the pekerja bank. And then you see another advertisement untuk a drinks, dia yang jual minum. Then you see maybe another advertisement, he owns a restaurant. So it looks as though,
Yes.
wow, this guy has a lot of jobs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happens with a lot of the talents here because I guess there's a lot of undiscovered talent lama say, right?
Yeah.
But and people here do get comfortable. So if like there's this one talent that
Bagus
is
itu,
really,
actingnya
really
bagus
good,
itu.
they like all production companies would just end up using that same talent over and over.
Padahal itu nggak bagus.
Yeah.
It's not good for the.
Yeah.
I mean, like creativity itu kurang bagus. Jadi nggak ada variety kan.
Do the audience
But like
macam feel bored of it? Do the audience ever like, oh, this guy again or this girl again?
Maybe yeah.
I think they do because like especially now like dulu we never really got that issue, but now clients do complain to that.
Oh yeah, benar.
Oh,
voice over
this,
juga ya.
Yeah, especially with voiceovers, they're like, oh, it's this voice again.
Change lah.
So it depends lah, like on the production house and or the client. Like some are really opening their eyes to that, so yeah.
So how are you overcoming that? I mean, obviously, with like as you said, some production houses have had to literally fly in talents from outside. And would clients there be more open to doing something like that? Ataupun, would Bruneians be open to auditioning and trying for a secondary job doing or being a part of production and being a talent or something?
I mean, I think now, like especially with like the younger generation, they are a bit more open to that. But the problem is like the drive is definitely there, but the opportunities are still very secret. So it's like eventually those who want to pursue just acting to survive, they do have to take on other jobs as well. And what happens is they become too busy with those other jobs that they completely forget acting. Yeah.
So your job in acting is like, well, I mean, if let's say you have a 9 to 5 and then you've got a big project, let's say for an event that you have to do, and then but we need you for like a filming this weekend. It's like, no, I have like an event or I have this big project I need to work on. My boss will kill me. So
yeah, like it's very kasihan because there are so many like talented
banyak sebenarnya
Bruneians here, like very talented, and like they do have that passion in like acting or whatever it is that where their talents lie. It's just the infrastructure is not very supportive of it yet.
Yeah, hopefully getting better.
But I suppose in that way, in that sense, you guys are the I want to say the catalyst of helping that to make that change, because as you said, there's a lot of undiscovered talents in Brunei, and mungkin you giving them the opportunity and presenting these new faces to your clients mungkin will get them that like, oh, sebenarnya there is this growing industry, and mungkin creative isn't something yang macam it's good luck to your future kind of thing, that maybe there is potential there.
Yeah, like I mean I would hope that that's how people see us also lah,
Yeah.
right? Like we do try to offer as many opportunities as we can because our team also very small, so we do end up having to hire a lot of freelancers, a lot of talents, and a lot of them are macam jadi regular staff. Like there's this one production company, a small production company, but they've done quite a big body of work already. They do like web series, and they do a lot of like funny skits. They're all very talented. They're called Filterworks. So we tend to hire them all of the time with all of our productions. Macam they all end up either as camera assistants, lighting crew, and itulah, like they also have their own circle. Like they are actually very rich in like hosting auditions
Yeah.
and
Okay.
finding new talent. So we make use of that also. So macam we let like we both kind of support each other lah
Yeah.
in that sense. We are fortunate to get the bigger jobs, but they have all that contact, so we kind of like mesh them together.
So biar ke-expose juga everything.
Yeah.
And make the
So,
industry grow.
what about equipment and such that I understand?
Itu susah juga sih.
Here memang even here equipment is very mahal, and I'm sure that's the case di mana-mana saja. But also in terms of obtaining these things di Brunei, like how do people go about doing that?
Itu another problem juga sih.
It's actually a problem that we like our box faces also, because as much as we want to bring in like, you know, the big cameras, we want to bring in like macam really macam, what's the word, like
Cinema camera ka atau ikut standard.
ya
benar-benar
ikut
standard lah.
international standard of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because of how little, well, not little, like how sikit the jobs are here, and how the budgets are not exactly
The ROI for these
allowing
things
us
it
to do
doesn't make
so.
sense. Like.
It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Yeah, or like macam even if it does make sense,
Manpowernya juga.
the manpower, like to actually
Kurang
get people who are experts in,
or
for example,
knowledge.
handling a red camera, like to be a red camera
Yes,
technician.
that's right.
In Brunei, it's like susah.
Susah. I have to learn myself.
Yeah.
Do they do like equipment rental to each other?
Yeah. So that's one really
Good
nice thing
things
lah
lah.
jua di Brunei. Like there, like for example, siapa? Like I would say like our lighting is quite you know, up to date, like very equipped, like, you know, how the standard is right now. So we always rent it out to like all of the other production houses, and they're the ones that we rent them out to, they invest more in cameras, and then production company they would kind of invest more on the lenses. So what happens, like each production house kind of has their own, like, this is our expertise, this is what we're about, we put all of our money into. So everyone kind of like helps each other. Oh no, where's Fatia?
Ask her. I think we're okay, kan? Oh,
Sorry about that. My thing glitched.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry. My thingy glitched. Okay, so you were saying that you guys kind of share, in a sense, a little bit of each other, and I mean, how does that work in terms of you guys having, obviously it's competition, but at the same time there's that shared pool of resources. So how does that go? Like, say you have a shoot on Saturday and production companies B has a shoot on the same day,
itu juga
and you
susah
both
sih.
need something, so you're both fighting over
Yeah.
a certain lens or a certain thing.
Yes.
So yeah,
Really?
Faiz is asking, so I suppose setting up an equipment rental business is lucrative in Brunei.
yeah,
be.
that's actually one of the things that is in our plans.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We are actually
we spilling. here.
Yeah, let's just spill the beans. I don't know how many Bruneians are here, but like, we're actually we're in the process of finishing up like the constructions of our new office, and in our new office we're gonna have like a studio rental as well as equipment rental. So
That's really cool.
you know,
That's really cool.
hopefully,
Yeah.
it's 5 years in the making.
Wow. And I think that's
Yeah,
great
we
because you could I mean, rental is one thing, but also being able to educate a newer generation about
Yeah.
using a
Mm.
studio and maybe getting a bit of experience
Yes.
and all
Yes.
that.
Mm.
You guys kind of being
Yeah.
almost tutors. Mention Tree
Yay.
original film. Yay!
Oh, you're tuning in.
Hey,
Man
man.
Sentry is such a talented videographer.
Mm.
It's really, really good.
So they can come and
So hi.
rent stuff from you as well, huh? If they need to use a studio, you've got one coming soon.
Yeah, inshallah.
Mm.
Inshallah. So what kind of things are I don't know if I say it's trending or are they something that's being used there? For example, drones or green screen. Are those things that's very popular there, or is it still very much outdoor shoots on
Masih
location?
banyak outdoor shoot sih.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think banyak banyak outdoor, but um there's a lot of like filmmakers now who are being more experimental juga. Like so maybe I'll just share a little bit. So one of the telcos here, Progressive, they recently launched a streaming platform. So it's like Netflix, but everything in it is like Bruneian content,
Mm.
Oh wow, okay.
which is great. Yeah, and it's actually available like
International.
internationally, so you guys can check it out as well. I'll type out the link a little later. It's called
Okay.
Progressive Media. So in Progressive
Okay,
Media,
okay.
what they're doing is about like they're really much encouraging local filmmakers to create proper content, and then like giving them that platform to show it all in. And like the releases that are coming up recently, like it's very exciting. Like um there's a zombie film that's coming out.
Yeah.
There's like
Wow.
Those
stand-up comedy.
horror comedy.
Yeah, there's like a
Horror
horror comedy thing
comedy.
that's coming out.
Progressive as in the
There's like
DSP
a
or both?
progressive the telco.
The telco, yeah. I was thinking like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So they've
Yeah,
they've
like there's
actually
a
come
lot
out
of
with this.
exciting content.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I
So
think that's
macam
great,
like
giving a platform for Bruneian
Yes.
content creators, Bruneian
Yeah.
creators to
Hmm.
put stuff out there.
yeah.
Yes.
So like
Mm.
if you ask me like what's trending, like it's kind of hard for me to jawab because there's such a wide range of like content that's coming out that and they're all trending. So it's like yeah, it's amazing lah. Like I think they've kind of surpassed us already in terms of creativity. Also, we've all kind of like me and Ogi or like Oddbox in general, we've all kind of put ourselves in like that commercial box already, and everyone else is doing the fun stuff now.
Oh no. But in that sense, like, is it often done in Bahasa Brunei as well?
Yeah.
I think it's a
Ada
nice mix.
nice mix.
Mm. Ada yang mix, ada yang purely bahasa.
Yeah, and Augie, you mentioned tadi macam kalau di Indonesia, like for example, you cannot use the same face kalau competing brands, yeah. So what about di Brunei? Are there certain filming limitations, commercial or film production wise, even creative wise, yang you have to follow, like you cannot, like in terms of like censorship, so to speak, or certain commercial laws, yang you have to know, like okay, we cannot put this out there, we cannot have this, those sort of things.
Kalau limitation mungkin ya standar Melayu itu sih apa namanya?
Ikut MIB.
MIB.
There are
Melayu
some
Islam
certain
budget.
topics that are limits.
Not too close.
Yeah, and also yeah.
Even though we are husband and wife, I mean like
No, actually, like a lot of our commercial projects, whenever we portray a husband and wife,
Mhm.
sometimes we even get asked, "Are they actually husband and wife?
Yeah.
Can we get someone who's actually husband and wife?"
Hmm.
So we're like, what?
Because they're sitting too close.
Yeah,
Because
because
they're not
like,
actually husband and wife.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
touching.
Oh
because
Sih,
wow.
kalau
like
Okay.
touching
it's
kurang sih, kurang elegan juga sih
yeah,
kalau di itu.
like apa they say it's quite hard to explain to apa censorship board.
Hmm.
So it's either they completely avoid those kind of scenes, or these actors have to be like halal.
Hmm.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do
But so
all
far
your
okay
things
sih.
have to go through a censorship board, even commercial stuff?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
Kalau commercial yes. They need to understand
Yeah.
Thailand dynamic.
Yeah, it's like imagine husband and wife. The wife is like an amazing actress, and the husband's like,
For yeah.
okay, wow. So
Yeah.
is there a rule set thing that says okay, that everybody is able to access, especially for you guys as
Hmm.
That's the
filmmakers?
thing. That's the thing, though. There is no official, like, written rule,
Yes.
which is why it gets quite tricky.
Hmm.
Wow.
Like,
Oh, I see yours.
Okay.
sorry, 1 second. Okay,
Okay,
all
it's
good.
okay.
Yeah, I think yeah lah, like it does get quite frustrating, especially when you're working for like government agencies or like anything that has to be on RTB, because there's two screenings that you have to go through. So there's like the in-house censorship, which is, you know, within the agency or within like RTB, and then it has to go the second step where it's sent to like a religious body,
Okay,
and
okay.
they also kind of have to atulah, like give their opinion. And sometimes, like, I think the most ridiculous one that we've gotten was for an animation project. It's animation, like how offensive can an animation be?
I don't
So
know.
we were kind of tagur because
Emang?
I will not name which one,
Oh, okay.
but we were kind of tagur because the main character was not wearing songkok.
Oh yeah.
So this character has to be wearing songkok because he is Bruneian. So we're like, what?
Okay.
So
Like
in order to
it's
portray
quite,
that he's Bruneian, he must wear a songkok.
yeah. So the cartoon character had to be in MIB wear, and we're like, interesting. Like, I mean, you know, it's animation, so it's quite easy for us to like just change it. But imagine if that was like filming and
But
like
there's no
throughout the
written
whole
rule
film.
that says this is how it needs to be.
Mm-mm.
No, and this is actually an issue that has been brought up
Oh yeah.
several times
Several
already.
times. I think kita
Yeah.
pernah meeting untuk itu juga.
Yeah, like we
Uh.
apa so there's this one agency that kind of like spoke to all local filmmakers and kind of tanya lah, like, you know, what are your concerns about filmmaking, and everyone did share that like censorship is quite an issue.
Yeah.
So, you know, RTB was present at the time. They were asked, like, you know, what are the guidelines then, if, you know, to avoid like so many reshoots and like, you know, having to like tolak all of these projects, give us set guidelines and then we'll work around it.
Yeah,
And
that's
you know,
right.
even they did not have those guidelines. So I feel like the guidelines are, it's more of like they know what they don't want, they know what they want.
Right,
And
right,
it
right, right.
changes depending on who
Yeah,
is in
depend
charge of
who is charged.
that team.
Oh, oh.
That's Spice.
Yeah.
Yes. But okay, like for example, here I know in Malaysia, let's say if you want to produce something for I think one of our TV stations, one of our local TV stations, the filming has to be done a certain camera or a certain quality. So there's like a minimum or rather a maximum. So like say if you shoot it in HD, then like it's not like we can show it anyway. So they have certain film qualities that it needs to be. Do you face that as well, where you're like, hey, can I? Let's say you set up a red camera. You're like, can I propose this? And they're like, no, what's the use, really?
Yeah,
Yes,
because like that's actually a question that we get a lot when we go for like meetings with clients. They're like, "Oh, what camera do you use? Is it 4K?" And you're like, "Cinemas in Brunei can only handle 2K. What are you talking about?" You know, like I feel like people here they know of like there's the red camera and there's 4K or whatever, but they don't truly know the purpose
of
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Or like macam they want all of this, but then their platforms can only support a certain
Quality
quality.
saja.
So why spend all that money on something that you can't
It's only going
even
to be
enjoy?
shown as such. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And yeah, and as I said, that's something that we I remember facing here, where I was told, okay, if we're gonna be filming this, it's gonna this TV series, it's gonna be shown on this TV station. Therefore, it needs to be this camera because otherwise, it's not gonna come out nice, or it's not gonna be worth spending that much on like say a 4K camera, when you're not gonna be using it anyway, or it's not gonna appear as such. But what about I mean, I think this was one thing we had here as well in Malaysia before, which is certain areas have to be included. If you're doing a feature film or something, you have to feature certain landmarks. Like there has to be a LRT shot, there has to be a KLCC shot, like somewhere.
Actually, enggak sih.
It's like
Sini,
I think it's a
no.
tourism thing.
Yeah, Sini not really,
Not
but
really.
I think Bruneians in general are very nationalistic. So um, in a lot of like the films that are coming out of Brunei, you will get a masjid shot. You will get like a Tumburong Bridge shot, like those kind of shots. But it's not really something that is set by anyone. It's just people are generally just proud of what is in Brunei, and they
Yes.
just want to
Right.
showcase it.
Tapi sebenarnya oke aja sih.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good actually.
Yeah, it's actually good.
Yeah, I think it showcases a lot of Brunei to people and the audiences for them to kind of recognize, and that's what we did. I mean, that's what Malaysia did as well, which is to get people more familiar with Malaysia as a whole. Was like to show the modernity and to be like, look, we have this, we have this. So it's like if you're gonna show the city, so it's like, oh, we don't live on trees. That kind of changing of perception, lah, so to speak. But Augie, I understand you have worked dulu di Indonesia and di Brunei. So how would you compare the difference in your experience?
Banyak banget.
I
Banyak
don't know,
banget.
maybe the
Everything.
kemungkinan the quality ataupun the work culture or
Kalau work culture,
like
maybe
yeah.
Brunei will have their own culture.
Mhm.
Kalau mau disamakan with Indonesia, Singapura atau Malaysia atau Filipina, I don't think mereka akan follow one of it. Mereka akan punya their own culture. What I see sih, what I see.
Yeah.
Yang sebenarnya nggak masalah sih sebenarnya.
Yeah.
As long as it growing dan nggak stop, good.
I think the very first like international project that I worked on, as someone who is who grew up in Brunei, I did experience culture shock lah at how fast and how efficient like about international filmmakers were. Because just to share, like the project was Yasmin, so it was a feature film that was a collaboration between Brunei and then
Indonesia, Malaysia.
Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, but then that there was also crew from China, and then the DOP was Australian. So like having all of these people, and all of these people, I think, although the culture is different in each one, because the industry is already so big in all of them, like they all have a very similar like work pace and like work ethics. And when they came to Brunei, I think me, along with all of the Bruneians, were shocked at how fast everything was going and how what we found rude was actually just them wanting things
Biasa.
like, yeah, it's actually biasa to them.
Hey, kamu
Yeah.
tetet gitu biasa.
Yeah, like during that filming, like in the first week alone, there were so many people who quit.
Ya,
Like
banyak ya.
locals,
Wow.
they quit because they could not handle the
The
pressure
pressure.
of working in an actual like a
Hmm.
big full on like film.
Oh, come on. Dengar di walkie-talkie like animal things itu biasa.
Yeah, like people were spooked out. Spooked out is that's like
It's normal.
that's like a small thing lah.
Hmm.
Like there were production drivers who quit because they could not handle all of the instructions that was being thrown at them.
Oh wow. That's interesting.
So
So it actually is a lot more fast paced outside of Brunei,
course.
and would you try to kind of bring a little bit of that
Pernah
into
sih
what you
tried.
guys
we
do?
tried, tapi I don't think it worked.
Yeah, I think for the first few years that we were operating, we were kind of like, no, it has to be like
This,
ABCD, and then like
yes.
there's no compromise. Everything has to be like clockwork, and we realized that it wasn't really good for like the team's morale.
Yes.
Because it wasn't something that they're used to. So we kind of like, had to work around it.
Come on,
Like
please.
manjas, no, I wouldn't say manja berabis lah.
Nah.
But
Adapt
like
to the
we had to be a little
local
bit
culture a lot more
Hmm.
lah.
yeah, like we had to be a little bit more nurturing and
Yeah.
like
Kalau aku, jadi gini,
forgiving.
kalau aku give order like what I used to give order di Indonesia, kalau di Indonesia dia akan okay, understand gitu. Kalau di sini aku give order same kayak di Indonesia, how I order it, dia pulang.
She will help you but translate but nicer.
Yeah, so that's my job. So I have to translate what he wants to like everyone. Like, hey, Oggy's not angry. This is what he wants. I'm like Oggy's boss and PR at the same time.
Right. But do you ever try to bring a little bit of your international? I think I know all you were saying just now, like kami harus bikin macam international standard, whatever. But do you also get inspired by what's being done outside and try as much as possible to really like implement that into what you have locally, ataupun is it seen macam as copying? Macam oh they do it di sana, kenapa we want to copy it? We want to do different. We want to be different.
First aku mau copy, tapi aku realize it doesn't work, so aku harus modified, benar modified. Even nggak cuman masalah produknya, tapi penetrate-nya to the client and the consumer juga harus dimodified. Because Brunei sebenarnya unik banget, unique, has unique culture. Culture kliennya gimana, culture si konsumennya gimana, konsumennya gimana.
Betul.
Makanya
Like-
that's what I said tadi. Brunei will have their own film industry, maksudnya culture yang original Brunei sih. Maksudku.
Yeah,
Gitu.
I agree. I think macam like you said, mungkin certain things yang mungkin di Indonesia mungkin is seen as funny, mungkin it doesn't work the same way di Brunei. Mungkin something that is seen as cantik di Malaysia, kalau you do the same thing in Brunei, it's like no, we don't think that's pretty.
Yeah.
Or we prefer a different look.
Yeah.
Gitu. So you have to lihat the audience juga lah, kan?
Yes.
But I definitely see how having a talent pool, and I mean the two things so far that I've seen is having a talent pool is so necessary di sana, and having that set maybe organization that really puts down what the guidelines are for filming. Jadi it makes it easier for filmmakers in general, I think, so that you know what your limitations are, even as whether you're making a movie, whether you're doing commercial, but you know, okay, this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. So then it doesn't have to go through reshoot, harus reshoot. You cannot do this, you cannot do that, and because as you said tadi lah, Oggy, time is money. You know, you cannot just reshoot a scene like okay, everybody except kami akan reshoot. It's not that. It really is not that easy. Benar. So yeah, I think it's a good time to move into our fourth segment. By the way, if anybody has questions, please do drop them in our comments box. Okay,
Okay.
so in our third segment is what you think you do. In an ideal description, what would you say you do? How would you sell you punya kerja, like in a really cantik manner? How would you say? Oh, this is what we do.
Describing.
Yeah.
Oke, kalau di Indonesia sih we call pekerja seni sih.
Wow.
Yeah, we called ourselves pekerja seni because we're not an artist, tapi ya kayak artisan lah.
Karyawan.
Karyawan, would that be? But I think is that more Malay? Karyawan.
Karyawan
Atau
itu more to employer.
So ini like so pekerja sini is like what does
Worker
it mean?
yang
person of the
kerja
arts.
di yes.
Ooh, it actually sounds really fancy. Pekerja seni, like.
Yeah.
That does sound pretty cool. To be pekerja seni. I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think, and this would probably be jawapannya mungkin beda for each of you, which is what were your expectations when you came into this industry?
Expectationku apa ya?
Macam when you came in, did you think macam wow, it's going to be so cool and jumpa celebrity, those sort of things? What
Yeah.
expectations did you have?
I think at first kayak gitu sih.
Yeah, especially with me, because like I did not have a filmmaking background, and then suddenly I was thrown into like a film where wow, so many handsome actors and wow, so glamour from like different countries, and so I kind of thought like, yeah, this is like it was like an aha moment where yeah, this is exactly where I want to be and this is what I want to pursue, but then like those glamorous moments are actually just like a tiny part of like the job, and there's actually so much work that goes into it to maintain that sense of glamour.
Paling itu cuma di web party doang sih rasanya.
Tapi macam Oggi, you already wanted to do film because you studied it. So expectations, was your expectation sama saja? Like, or did you already know it's going to be hard?
I know it's going it will going be so hard because di waktu aku masih study pun culture-nya udah kerasa kan. Aku sudah maksudnya I can feel the culture like apa ya? Ya kerasnya kayak gimana gitu, fighting-nya kan kayak gimana gitu. Because
so for you going in macam not so shock lah kan, not so culture shock gitu. I mean, yelah also because your brother juga filmmaker kan, so you have exposure gitu.
Actually dia dulu yang masuk ke film industry daripada saya. Yeah, because at first aku tuh try to apply ambil course graphic design, tapi aku fail. 3 tahun berturut-turut fail. Yeah, and then aku lihat my brother, dia masuk ke film. Okay, ayo coba film aja. Gitu.
It's like you guys did like opposite, like a switch. Almost.
That's why even like. Sorry.
But I noticed one thing.
Even,
even what you're saying?
No, I was gonna say like that's why Oggi pun gets very critical of like any design work we do. And then I kind of just have to remind him that, bro, you failed. Shut up.
That is so mean.
No la. I don't say that. I do take into consideration what he says.
And he gets to go. No. I've been in the film industry longer than you. I know what looks better on screen.
Yeah.
I see that. One thing I notice, and I do admire, is that you have a great sense of respect for other filmmakers. Instead of seeing it as competition, there's this mutual respect of other people who are in the same craft. Um, would you say that something that is macam uniquely something you do, you yourselves do, ataupun mungkin di Brunei memang the culture, or mungkin in general the culture of people in this creative industry memang is that where you respect each other instead of I'm competing with you, kami berlawan gitu.
Kalau di Indonesia, walaupun kita competing, tapi kita support. Gitu, jadi umumnya, kita competing nih, ya kan? Tapi if you want to borrow my team, you can. Even the creative team pun bisa. Kalau di Indonesia, kita masih bareng, minum bersama atau talking bersama lah, maksudnya sharing-sharing, benar-benar sharing gitu. Nah, kalau di sini mungkin some people yang bisa digitukan.
I think like
not all people di sini open-minded.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like before I met Oggi, like my impression of like how things are in Brunei was very like aku, kau. You know, like you do you, I do me. And it I think it is changing pulang. Like now there are people who are more willing to work with each other, which is great. But you know, you still get the more stubborn ones who are like,
aku, kamu.
you know, I succeed only I want to succeed. Like I don't care about you guys. You guys can like do your own thing. But I don't know, like since we have the opportunity of like kind of educating people, because you know we work with like a wide range of like a wide range of freelancers. Macam this is like Oggi punya Indonesian culture itu is something that we do bring into like how we run things.
Even di Indonesia pun, maunya aku bikin skrip nih. Aku bikin skrip, Maria ini my rival. Aku send my script ke Maria. Aku baca dong ini. Aku mau bikin film, skripku kayak gini. What do you think?
Wow, okay. I think that's really healthy.
Nah, kalau di sini aku nggak mau. Takut dicuri idenya.
Benar.
Masih ada ini insecurity.
Kecurian gitu ya.
Yeah, because it does happen. Like
it does happen.
Like I said, Brunei punya industry is still so young. So like everyone who is in it, they do have macam quite childish tendencies.
Yes. Yeah.
So you know, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's just something that needs to kind of be, you know, someone you need to be guided lah, to kind of get out of that mindset.
So di Indonesia, it's like dia orang ada respect of creative. That is your creative idea. I will not steal it gitu.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's very admirable actually.
Kalau umpamanya Maria mau, that's good idea. I think aku ke-inspired. Dia akan honestly bilang, aku ke-inspired by your idea loh. Aku mau buat kayak gini gimana? Gitu. Okay, that's good. Gitu.
But so there will be a discussion lah.
Maksudnya lebih open gitu. Istilahnya kalau fighting, ya open fighting gitu.
But wow. Especially the filmmakers that we work with, like they send Oggi scripts. They share ideas sama Oggi. I mean,
some,
not all, not a lot. Like,
but I think that's healthy competition because you grow from each other. Kan kalau you know, like let's say if someone says, "Hey Oggi, I want to do something like this," and you can say, I think ini good idea. Tapi we have tried it sama mungkin a different audience di Brunei juga, and they were not very open to it. Atau they say, we want to propose this script to the TV station di Brunei. And you can say, you can't do this because we went through the censorship process and memang this is something not allowed. So at least before they go and do it, you save them that like sort of that issue of rupanya censor cannot, But I think that's very healthy. That's a very healthy culture to have the industry. Here, I can't say I know for sure because I don't have a lot of experience. Tapi I have seen something similar to what you were saying, where a lot of production agencies or production houses tend to work with some of the same people. So contohnya, this team is really good at finding locations. So you will see sometimes some productions, walaupun it's different productions, but they all had the same scouting team. Contohnya,
Okay.
ataupun three of them will have used the same lighting team because this team is
Yeah.
good at lighting all the equipment. So they will share this team lah juga. That's what I've found happens where it's like, you did this, but I did this too. Oh, okay. Rupanya we were working on the same project, but we didn't even realize it because we worked on a whole different project together. Pulang, yeah.
Tapi
But the
I
idea
see
stealing
ini
here
sih
happens
udah
with
mulai
clients lah
itu sih.
selalunya. Here the
I think,
problem
yeah,
of
the whole
stealing usually
collaborative
clients yang
thing.
buat lah.
Oh,
Yes, that is true. Even here.
even
So
here.
like within the industry, supportive and everything. Tapi some clients are like, not, they don't really have the best
Yeah.
ethics.
Sometimes kayak ini kan, aku bagi idea ke klien, terus suddenly ghosting. Terus this idea si klien langsung contact their own contact. Kamu bisa buat nggak ini? Idenya ini.
sama production lain kan.
Yeah.
But if you have that honest relationship sama different production houses, then like for example, you guys speak to production house A, then they'll say, hari tu I remember you guys were proposing this to this client. They approached
yeah.
us and want us to do
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
So there's this one
Banyak sih.
there's this one production house that we work very closely with, who is
Sarjana.
also kira sebenarnya they're our rival. Like we both go for the same kind of clients. Sometimes we get it, sometimes they do. But what I like is macam sometimes like if a client approaches them with the concept and they feel like it has an odd box touch, they would actually confront us like, hey, is this yours?
Yeah.
And then which is we love and respect that about them. But one of the ways that we actually disputed that was we both went in it together. So we both
You're annoying.
no,
Yes, okay.
it's annoying. But like I like was macam we both decided, okay, you know what? If the client likes this from us and they like this from you, you know what? Let's do co-production.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very much possible. The one that I've experienced was di mana we had a pitching session, but this is me from the client side, where we had a pitching session, and it was a much bigger agency that came to us, and they were like, oh, we're this huge agency and we have all this huge team that work with us. And we're like, oh, that's really cool. Okay, great. So because obviously for us, we had to do a few shoots in a few different countries. So understandably, there's going to need to be some teams in, like, say, Indonesia, a team in maybe Myanmar and such. And then, so with the pitch, you have a few different agencies that come and approach you with their idea. And then another agency, another production house that came to us was saying, hey, hi, so we're this production house, and so we can do all this. We have teammates in these other countries. And then when we did a full background check, we realized that really big production agency, one of their small production houses was the one that came and approached us and said, hey, we have friends. Yeah. We're like,
ini ya.
how do we tell you the bigger team actually came to us already? It's like, even if we hire the bigger one, chances are we're gonna end up hiring you, but maybe you get to do a portion of the project as opposed to you taking over the whole project. So I thought it was like, interesting. But that happens lah. That happens.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's
but
normal.
That's why it's really important to have that lah, like macam
Regulation.
that respect and that communication within the industry of
absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so Faiz, let's cue the segment change as we move into segment 4. Okay, so now finally the truth comes out. What you actually do. Describe a typical working day for you.
You wanna go first?
So ya biasanya aku ini sih make a concept, terus send to my boss, and my boss send to the client, and kalau sudah approve, meet my production team, which is sometimes freelancer atau another production house gitu kan. And then after that produce, shoot, editing, and then present lagi. Tapi during shoot biasanya aku present juga.
Oh,
Ya, dan kan waktu kita sudah, kalau waktu kan ada 3 step nih, pre-production,
yes, that's
production,
right.
and post-production. Pre-production itu konsep, storyboarding, ya
Yes.
kan, and talent itu kan. Nah, waktu storyboarding itu kan masih illustration, ya kan. Kalau klien approve, and then after storyboarding, waktu sudah producing all the frame ya itu ya, all the frame itu juga harus di-report. Like si klien ini akan aku malah suka klien yang datang ke set. So
Yes, they can
decision
see
itu
and
fast kan.
terus cakap actually mungkin
Yeah, I like it.
edit gini
Yeah.
sikit, maybe change. I know we agreed this shot, tapi mungkin let's try begini sikit kan.
Yes, gitu. Nah, tapi di sini culture-nya different.
Ah,
Jadi most of our shoot itu kliennya yang datang. So when we send the kayak macam screenshot of the frame gitu kan, and bajunya akan kayak gimana, actingnya akan kayak gimana, itu mereka most of them tuh kayak confused, what is this? Gitu. Padahal kalau di Indonesia atau di Malaysia mungkin klien akan duduk sendiri dan mereka akan dapat
at least
their
one,
own
at
monitor
least one
gitu
akan ada
kan.
di sana monitor, betul.
Ya. Nah, kalau di sini culture-nya different gitu. Makanya waktu aku aduh ini gimana ya? Ya udah sikat aja gitu. Tapi ya itu tadi, after comparing the real shoot and the storyboard, kalau approve dari klien, okay, continue. And then
Gitu. So
waktu
you do
editing,
a frame for them to approve, terus baru you betul-betul shoot like in full
yes,
lah.
yeah,
Okay.
because aku nggak mau ada changes after shoot gitu kan.
I have to
Untuk
reshoot
minimize.
kan, betul. That
Minimize.
would be
Yeah.
lagi susah lah.
And then after editing ya, sending to the client first draft. Kalau ada changes di revise, and then sending back sampai final draft. Gitu sih.
What about you, Maria?
Yeah.
My typical day is pretty much lining people.
Yeah.
So I'm
Marah
lining the
OGGI,
team.
Boss OGGI.
Marah the rest of the
Tapi
team.
sometimes aku juga itu loh, complaining.
Yeah, but like it's not just the team lah. Like I'm pretty much like 24/7 on call with our clients. I'm like a call center. Any troubleshooting, come to me, and then I bring it up to the team, and then the team would relay information, and then I bring it up to client. It's a lot of lining people.
Lot of client servicing lah, and work in communicating with the team. Lot of communications lah. What are some of the realities of this job without sugarcoating it?
Ya itu tadi sih. Kalau aku sih one of the example, because kliennya di sini itu tidak punya kesadaran untuk come to the set and then watch the shoot. Jadi sometime itu after editing banyak request untuk changing. Kenapa talent bajunya seperti ini, atau kenapa propnya seperti ini gitu. Yang sebenarnya kalau kita kalau dia datang di location, that problem nggak akan kejadian gitu.
I think I'd just like to follow up on that point. I think a lot of what we actually do, we educate more than we actually do, because we end up having to explain to the client how things work, and then we have to explain to the freelancers how things work. And like even with like long-standing clients, it still happens. We still have to keep reminding them of how the procedure is, and like what to do, what comes next. So
wow,
I feel
sebenarnya it's fun sebenarnya.
Yeah, it's more educating
Yeah, more
than doing.
Tapi sebenarnya ya because of the industry still really young kan. Gitu.
Tapi macam kalau based on what you were expecting bila you first masuk the industry, what was really yang betul-betul make you realize like this is the real industry? Macam maybe when like you were saying before you came in, Maria, you were like, oh wow, maybe I'll get to work with really these glamorous celebrities and whatnot. But what made you see betul-betul okay, this is the reality. It's not that pretty or it's
Kamu yang
yeah.
efek banget. Kalau aku kan udah dari kampus udah oke. Gitu. Aku udah punya culture itu. Jadi aku nggak punya culture shock. Mungkin kamu yang.
Yeah. I think for me like the aha moment was more of like I think just the work that's put in. Like the glamour only lasts for like 5 minutes, and then you spend the rest of the day like slaving yourself away for these people, and you know, it gets very draining lah sometimes. But at the same time, like you know, if you're someone who enjoys doing that, like you know, being the go-to person for like
apalagi kamu ini ya production ya.
Yeah.
Kalau production department itu slave or another team, another department.
Slave for another department.
Slave.
If you enjoy being a slave, get in production.
Kan production team itu kan sebenarnya even organizer of shoot.
Yeah.
Gitu.
Wow. It's actually kerjanya it's hard lah. It's tiring.
It's
it's
very hard. But you know, if you're like, I don't know if Adam's still here, but you know, he said I'm the nurturing type. So if you're that kind of person, like, I think it's something that's very rewarding to you. So much, you know, that's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still doing it, because I actually enjoy that aspect of.
You enjoy being the slave of someone else.
I enjoy being the slave, guys.
Apa ni? You know, that being said, what job was the most memorable for you, or what's something that you're really proud of that you, despite all that hard work and all that not so glamorous, what was the thing that you're like, wow, which job made you feel like this is Maria, ini kerjanya Maria, ini kerjanya OGGI?
Oh. Kalau aku mana ya? Banyak sih.
Pick one.
Banyak because
OGGI's worked in so many big productions.
Ya. Banyak. Kamu dulu.
Some would say like it's not really one particular project, but just I don't know, just people being able to identify, that's Oddbox's work is like, that's like my proudest moment. Like, like people already know if it's made by us, and that's like very rewarding.
Wow.
Itu kalau kita ya as a Oddbox. Tapi kalau my personal proud of project itu maybe yang before Oddbox sih sebenarnya. Gitu.
Yang mana?
Aku ada satu shoot itu apa namanya, film di Skyline ya. Nah itu
that's with Iko Uwais, right?
Yes, Iko Uwais, and then Mark siapa itu? Aku lupa.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know. Itu my first itu my second work with real Hollywood crew.
Wow.
Jadi aku bener-bener wow, gini tuh mereka kerjanya. Sebenarnya culture-nya sama saja kan. The pressure, the communication sebenarnya sama aja. Yang bikin aku wow itu adalah the technology. The technology of everything. Dari every department itu punya teknologi yang kamu wah keren banget ya.
Gitu. Because different lah. I mean, if it's real Hollywood, they have mungkin teknologi yang lagi modern. Mungkin
lagi
kameranya
modern, lebih
yes.
gitu. Nah itu sih yang
And you get
itu
to
yang bagus.
operate this new equipment kan.
Ya,
But I think
and
that
then
that's
work
probably quite
hour-nya itu aku suka sih. Work hour-nya itu sebenarnya contoh kalau di Indonesia kan, nah sekarang masih jadi isu nih, apa work hour in film sama apa namanya komersial. Itu sekarang masih jadi isu untuk ada regulation of working hour, jadi kayak 12 jam atau apa. Because right now masih 24
Oh, that's
hour gitu-gitu
interesting
kan.
actually.
Ya,
Yeah, that is
nah
true. That is true.
di project Beyond Skyline itu aku belajar how they manage of the time. Jadi mereka go to set itu kayak working biasa, kayak working di office, 8 to 5. Berangkat pagi,
Wow.
pulang
Okay.
sore ya. Jadi aku berangkat ke set itu rasanya kayak berangkat ke office. Gitu.
Oh.
Itu sih yang aku benar-benar belajar banget.
Wow. That, I mean, I never knew rupanya production, mungkin Hollywood production, unlike mungkin culture di sini kan. I'm not sure. Mungkin di Indonesia also same culture di mana we work non-stop. Especially the creative
Yes.
kan. It's like weekend you have to work. 2 o'clock in the morning you have to janji you settle. Janji you deliver. I don't care if you work until you die, you have to deliver. Like, and mungkin di sana where it's no, weekend no work, or after 6 no work.
Yeah.
Like
Serius.
call time, but tapi harus disiplin. Bila call time, you must arrive at call time, and then bila habis shoot, habis. It's like as if you're renting, walaupun open scene-nya, tapi as if it's a studio. Kalau udah habis, that's it.
Habis, yes.
Yeah.
Itu sih yang aku suka banget.
Which is something
That's
that we're
actually very
trying to do here also.
Yes sih.
Trying.
Tapi bagus because you are such a, it's as you said, it's a very new-ish industry. It's a very young industry. So kalau you start to breed that culture, that becomes the norm. And you set that standard. Lagi pada if it's something yang sudah lama, and you want to try and change it, it's lagi susah because for example kalau maybe you set that untuk your studio, tapi kliennya will not understand. To the client it's like the other agency okay saja work on the weekend, okay saja work until 3 in the morning. Why are you not okay with it? Because you know it's a culture yang sudah they're already used to, they already expect it from you. Whereas with the newer industry, a very growing industry, you can still set and still change that. And I think that's mungkin something good for you guys lah. Sana di Brunei. Yeah. So my almost coming towards the end. Why do you do what you do? And what would you do if it wasn't this?
I think because I like ini sih apa namanya beautiful visual aja sih. Oh serius? Aku suka visual apa namanya visual form of artwork gitu kan. Mediumnya visual.
MARIAH.
You guys can see off camera. Faiz is like beautiful visuals. Like anyone is that Maria? Beautiful visuals.
Okay.
No.
Actually, it's more like this now.
Oh, no lah. No, but so mungkin kalau bukan tu buat photography.
Yeah.
So clearly,
doesn't
I'm
make
sorry,
money.
Oggi, tapi bukan graphic design lah.
No, 3 tahun. Aku graduate high school 2007. Itu aku fail. 2008 fail. 2009 fail. 2010 baru masuk ke film.
It's like if all else fails, film.
Oh, no, but I have to give the respect to Oggi for trying. 3 years of trying is that shows persistence. Bukan macam first time fail, maybe but second time I'll try again. For me, I think second time fail is like, you know, maybe not this.
Aduh, aku sampai belajar tipografi manual loh. Serius.
Wow. And still fail.
Because that Still fail, yes. I don't know why.
I
Mungkin aku nggak
mean,
punya that thing.
that's why he married me.
Ya.
Because you're the graphic one.
Yeah. If I can't be a graphic designer, I'll marry one.
Tapi seriously sampai sekarang on set aku masih ask her because maybe one dia communicate with client, so she will really understand what client wants. Kedua, aku masih need her eyes to check my work.
Okay.
But what about you,
ya
Mariah?
aku,
Why do I still do what I do? I think we touched on that. I enjoy being a slave. No. No. It's very rewarding knowing that the little things that you do, contribute to like all of these beautiful images like Oggi mentioned lah. Like it's the same with Oggi. Like I'm still in this field because I do like the beauty of like the works that we produce, but mine is more focused on how to get to that. Like I like all of the behind the scene works that happen lah.
You like the process.
Yeah.
Process.
So if I wasn't in film, I mean, I'll probably be in like.
Do you recommend to me?
That question though.
No. Because banyak fight, serius, man. Banyak fight.
Yeah.
Serius, banyak fight. Especially
I think
creative, and then your idea get bashed gitu.
He takes it
Oh
very
my God.
seriously if I reject his ideas.
no, but
Like,
the
itu
one thing
sampai
I have
dia
learned about that, because I mean, obviously, I wouldn't call myself the creative wife, but
You're
I
intelligent wife.
oh, thank you. He says I'm the intelligent wife. Because I am sort
Good
of
answer.
I work with a lot of creatives. So what I find is you have to know how to deliver the feedback back to them. Especially
Yes.
dulu I did client servicing. So clients' feedback is it's ugly. So
Yes.
I go back to the creative and I say, it wasn't really what the client wanted. Maybe you change it a little bit. Let's try a different color. So I don't go to them and say, client said it's ugly.
Yeah.
Because then they'll be like,
So
"Ugh."
that is the downside if you are also the wife. Because, I have no one else to rant to about these things. So when we're at home, I'm like, oh, I'm so stressed. The client said this. So Oggi hears the truth of what the client says. But then when we're in the office, I'm like, guys, no, it's not like this. So macam like,
Shield.
yeah.
You are the
but
shield.
I think one thing we've learned is you have to kind of accept that you will end up producing ugly work sometimes. As much as you love
Yeah.
beauty, there's times you will produce ugly work, and that's because
Yes.
Client is
the
always
customer
right.
is always right. The client is the
Client.
customer is always right. So if the client wants the sky to be pink, the ground to be blue, you'd be like, okay,
Okay.
sky should be blue,
Yes.
but okay, if you want it to
Yeah.
be pink, I will make it pink for you, because at the end of the day, this is what you want as the output. We can only suggest so much, and that's how I usually feedback either to Faiz or to the creatives and say, this what I always say is, this is not going to be something you want to put in your portfolio. If you want to put something in your portfolio, you find something you are proud of and then use that. But if this you feel is ugly, then it's okay. You don't have to be proud of all the work you do. It's not always going to be pretty, especially if you're doing work for someone else. So
Yeah,
that's usually
sure.
yeah.
It's the same case for
Yeah.
doctors. They can't always have a token patient.
Yeah, I guess sometimes you will
Yeah.
get patients. Yeah, but in the case of doctors, there's life and death. I think in the case of creative, it's life and death. It's not like the doctor goes, I think you need the surgery, and the client goes, I don't think so. It's some point, doctor kind of has to go, you will die. There's a lot less resistance there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, I want to put my eyeball here.
Oh my god. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I totally feel you there.
yeah, I think Maman just atala, if you want to marry a creative, you have to deal with big egos.
Yes, it's very. I mean,
Yeah.
your own ego and your partner ego.
Yeah. Creatives are Kanye's. They're all Kanye's.
Hmm.
No matter how humble they look, they're
No,
not.
yeah, no.
I don't think it's egos. I think
And
it's very
hmm,
emotional, very passionate people. I honestly
yes,
don't think it's ego. I think it's passion. It is that they love something very much. So they don't take it very well when someone doesn't like it. It's like, but this is my baby, and you're like, yes.
yeah.
But it's not, you know. And
Yeah.
they will defend it. They will defend it to the death. But you kind of have
Yes,
to, yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes,
But
we have such a good,
your
healthy
creative
marriage.
dynamic. No, but I would understand in that sense your creative dynamic is where like and again too, is it Man Century original film,
Yes,
um
absolutely.
if you do marry a creative wife, you will have the joy of debating on, or you want to buy that just because it looks pretty. Like if you go grocery shopping, it's like, which tuna do you want?
Oh my god.
You are you are
Maria,
Yes.
sold by
Maria,
packaging.
that's our predicament, right?
Packagingnya cantik.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, is it good?
I
But
fell
look at
for
the
the
packaging.
packaging.
But look at the packaging here.
And that's why
The
we
packaging's
end
so
up as
pretty.
hoarders. We buy all of these things just because the packaging cantik.
Yeah.
Like for me, with Faiz being somebody in the who was years in the print industry, if we go to a restaurant and the menu is not nice, he will tell me it's not nice. He'll look at the menu and go, "This is horrible.
Hey,
Like,
guys,
it's
is it
wrong.
affecting your
The layout
appetite?
is wrong."
Huh?
Does it affect your appetite?
Does it affect your appetite?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they can't design the menu right, they can't cook for shit.
Like he would actually look at the menu and be like, "This is all like this. Like I cannot. Like where is the picture for this? Why is this laid out like this?" And I'm just like, just order the food.
Just order.
But yeah, you will have the joy of sold by packaging. You will have the debate of that looks misaligned.
Hmm.
They will comment on things, and one of I suppose one of the enjoying things is that you will absorb media very differently.
If you can't spell
Oh yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Yeah.
Would you even know the difference between salt and sugar?
Oh my god.
Very Swiss.
Yeah, that's true though. Like
Hmm.
because me and Ogi we do consume like like we watch the same shows.
Hmm.
Sometimes we listen to the same music, but we both like enjoy it our own ways.
Hmm. Kita fighting because of ini. Recently kita fighting about BTS. We both like BTS, but we have different ini opinion.
So yeah,
Serious, like fight. Serious
we
fight.
don't we
It
don't
was
have that. We
it
don't have
was a
that
big
because
fight.
Faiz doesn't agree with me being into BTS. But no, but I acknowledge that he has interesting tastes in music. Very
Hmm.
unique taste in music, and I just kind of like, okay, but
Tell them what I enjoyed last night.
Mm.
what did you listen to last night?
Some Timo Lester.
Oh yeah, so yesterday because Faiz sometimes he has his own private time to build gunpla, and I walked
Hmm.
into the room and he was listening to like Timor Leste music.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's like that. It sounds like horns and a lot of and
Okay.
lot you're just
Hmm.
like, if you guys can look
Hmm.
apa turun naik breakthroughs and those songs, and I just walk in and I'm like, you don't get
What
to
is
judge
this?
my
This
taste in
is-
BTS music if this is what you're listening to, honestly. But you know, I'll respect your taste. You know, okay.
Okay.
You're allowed to like that. I mean, you know, you can walk in and like dangdut, okay. Whatever.
Yeah, go by all means. Silakan.
You do you, honey. You do you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when we do agree on things, like it's beautiful lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's probably especially when it's like, oh, that's ugly. Yes, that's ugly. That's
Yeah.
badly done. Like, oh, that is not pretty. Look at that.
We
This
don't like
the
this.
sound quality is horrible. What is this? What did
Yeah.
they use to record this? A phone?
Oh, that's yeah. Sometimes like when we watch films, macam, are we actually enjoying it or are we just criticizing
Oh
everything
ya,
about it?
nggak sadar ya, unconsciously.
I know you told me before that Oggy will listen to the sound and be like, oh, that's an interesting sound.
Yeah.
How did they make that sound?
How did they make that sound? I want to know how to make that sound.
Apa dia?
The transition is off.
Oh, oh yes, I do that as well. The transition is off. Like oh, why did they cut it there and like the jump cut, like why is this
Yeah.
scene is not necessary,
The flower
or
needs to be on the right
or
side, now it's on
the
left
conti
side.
is off.
The conti.
That's usually my comment, which is tadi sleeve-nya di sini ya. Lepas lihat macam ni, tapi bila front angle macam ni and you're like,
Gitu dong. Iya.
did the conti person like not take that down?
It's so hard to shut that off.
Right? So
Yeah.
as people, we're coming close to the end now. What would you advise to people who may be interested to get into film? It's probably similar to Mancentri's question of would you recommend to marry a creative one? Would you recommend people to go into film?
I mean, okay,
Yes.
if you
Yes sih. Tapi
if you love beautiful things, yeah.
If you love being
yeah,
a
if
slave,
you love,
No, I think you need to be very tahan lasak lah to be in production. I feel like you
tapi kalau di Brunei enggak, Mam. Di Brunei itu lebih chill.
yeah.
Lebih Brunei itu culture-nya nggak terlalu itu.
Sebenarnya di sini it's more of like if you berani like go against like what society thinks of like what of like about filmmakers or creatives in general being like the lazy bums who don't want to do anything in life, like you know, if you can handle hearing that all of the time and not be affected by it, get into film, like
yeah, it's more like that.
Really? So
Jadi for
because
me,
you're gonna get really bad, like you said just now earlier on, which is oh, there goes your future and that sort of thing. So you have to kind of be willing to like just shut off that white noise and just keep going for it.
Yeah.
Kalau aku satu lagi, you have to do that. Yang kedua adalah apa namanya? Aku mau bilang ini sih sebenarnya. Bilang there's a I feel like there's a future for this in Brunei.
Yeah, for sure.
Jadi siapapun yang baru start atau udah ada, just stay there consistently and fight for it. Because aku lihat it's growing to the right way.
Maria, could you also pass us the link for the progressive thing so we can also promote Bruneian films? Yeah, we want to get that as well. But yeah, I think I definitely agree. Besides going into production, di Brunei, especially kalau you want to be a talent, kalau you want to be a part of that production, also to go into it because you help build Brunei punya talent pool. As if you're saying that's what's lacking and go for it lah. I think I would love to see more things out of Brunei. I would love to see what the Brunei
Baru. It has.
Yes, it does.
No.
Okay, yes, my internet dropped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but also I think macam you kind of also need to have like a genuine like for people because if you're in production, you're always going to be around people, if not clients, fellow filmmakers, or like fellow people, just fellow talents, like freelancers. So you kind of have to really develop like your communication skills and your you know just overall patience for people's shit.
Hmm. Oh, wala. Ganti sini.
Oh,
Hey, you're on mute. On mute. You.
Unmute.
There we go. Okay, yeah.
Wow,
The
there.
lighting
there
is
we
like,
go.
wow. Please excuse the bright lighting. It's meant for that.
So bright.
Meant for that side.
It's okay.
But yeah, I was
And
saying that I'm
maybe
excited to see more daripada Brunei.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Huh? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, because you were saying tadi that the audience di Brunei is very different, and what they absorb or what they consume is different. So I would love to see what Bruneians enjoy. So yeah, there's the link down below
Okay.
for all of you who may be interested. Please check out progressivemedia.com, and is it a subscribe? Is it something you have to subscribe to, like a paid subscription?
I think there are some free content and then some are subscription based. The subscription is quite affordable, so and they accept cards. I think for about any foreign audience who wants to subscribe to, yeah, pakai credit card pun boleh.
Okay, cool. And hopefully we'll get to see some of your productions there as well. Is Yasmin on there?
It should be.
Should be.
I think it should. I'm not too sure actually.
Well, if there's other productions by you guys, let us know, and we'll make sure to check those
Man-
out. Unfortunately, we might not see your commercials
Century
there.
has it. Yeah.
Where? Oh, okay, so we'll get to see. You were saying just now, Century's work there. So yeah, if any of you production people are
And
are
Envoy
there,
Films
let
as
us
well.
know. Okay, awesome. So I'm also gonna add on a little shout out to your studio, Oddbox Pictures. Hopefully we'll I don't know if you guys have done work for international clients, but hopefully maybe they can check you out and have you guys do some of the animations for them. The website
Yeah,
is down
hire
below,
us.
oddboxpictures.com. Yes, hire them. They're stuck at home. Make them do work. The creative production duo. So if there's anything you guys want to give a shout out to, please do so. Now is your chance and your time to do so.
I think to anyone who is in Brunei who is like tuning in, thank you for spending the last 2-ish hours with us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for not spilling too much dirty laundry. About airing out too much dirty laundry during this session.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
we're
and thank you
excited.
to you
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, especially all the way from Brunei. And I wish you both all the best with your upcoming project, the surprise that you guys dropped on our show. Thank you for making this the platform to reveal that upcoming project. And we really do wish you all the best. And I hope everybody in Brunei stays safe. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this pandemic, and I really just. I look forward to be able to eventually come back to Brunei and visit you guys, and maybe even visit you guys on set and see how that's like. Visiting #set life. Yeah.
Yeah.
From one creative duo to another creative duo. Thanks so much, and we do wish you guys all the best. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Say goodbye.
All right.
Say goodbye.
Oh, yeah. So goodbye, everybody. Have a good evening. Subscribe, and yeah, have a good night and have a great weekend. Alright, I hope you all enjoyed the show. Give us a like, subscribe to catch more episodes, or share this video to your friends. That's all, folks. See you next time. Good night.